Islam. I want to welcome everyone to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, sponsored by our Moorish American government, hosted by, platform is provided by the God Allah Georgia Consulate, and our host instructor would be Dr. Shedu Amenti Muhajjab Shuwell. Islam. Well, family, we had a couple of complications going on, but we see we got South Carolina, Islam.
Islam is Dr. Leo Larry Bay, Vice Channel, South Carolina.
Islam, grand man. Yeah, we had some complications with my Google account, so I'm just sending everybody the link again. But glad you made it on in.
Sir, gratitude, peace and love.
Islam, peace and love, family. Islam, so Evangel number 4, I see you on the manifest. Let's see here, Dr. Bati Bay. There we go. Islam, that's just Grand Sheik.
Islam, yes, sir.
Islam.
We here.
All right, outstanding. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reset my phone, my Google account. Never did send anything out. That's what it was. So I had to send it from my other Outlook, but it's all is well.
Yeah, Rome acting crazy all over the place, seeing like it, don't it?
Hey man, they can't stop this divine movement.
No, man. Messing around with my phone and everything. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
come on, bro. I done went and bought a brand new battery, talk to the people on the phone, it talk clear.
Right.
Get on the call, they want to go to acting crazy.
Yeah, on the call, it's up and down, up and down, up and down.
I was just talking to the Grand National Secretary of the State. It was clear as ever. And I can't hear it. You know, normally when your phone mess up, you'll hear some chopping. But yeah, you don't even hear no chopping or nothing. It just be doing what it's doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. So Dr. Dan Carter Bay, I sent it. She has it. Tell her to check her check her email. Check your email. Check email. It'll be Ox Logistics.
I think I'm gonna try something too. I'm gonna try to disconnect my phone from my home internet.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, and see how it sounds without, you know, the home internet.
Yeah, check your email. It should say Ox Logistics.
Is up and down though in certain
You can
areas.
always go to an old one. It's the same link. But I had to send it again via I had to send it from my, all right, so everybody, you have it. I know it's there. Islam. All right.
More calling you.
Hey, praise Allah.
Where that link at?
Hey, I know. They like, hey, where you at, Dr. Simpson Bay? All right, we got everybody coming in. We good. All right, family. Well, we about to open up the way. Islam. We give rise and praise to our Father God Allah, and honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, honors to everything that is Moorish, our grand national flag, emblem and seal, divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. Islam, family. You have to, I apologize for my Google account was not sending out the email. However, we got everybody coming in, and well, as our national sister Grand Sheik say, Rome ain't never built nothing in that. Islam. And with that being said, Morris Ken, Islam. With that being said, we're going to open up the way with our commission adept prayer. And we'll open up the way with our following our divine constitution and also the reading of the chapter of the week. Islam. All right. Can you hear me, Morris Ken?
Hey. Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
All right. Let me see. Can I bring it on the manifest here? Islam. Ya Allah abnu haru maku nataru. Ya Allah abhet haru. Ya Allah ma'at haru. Ya Allah hotep haru. Ya Allah haru. Ya Allah ma'at harukuti. Ya Allah ahwajet dejut. Ya Allah per im sutek per im heru. Ya Allah ba maduti. Al Hajjat Shebs Ray Abdu Ali. Amin. Aliyasa. 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 And that is the saying transliteration. O Allah, the Father of the universe. O Allah, the Father of love. O Allah, the Spirit of truth. O Allah, the Spirit of peace. O Allah, the Spirit of freedom. O Allah, the Spirit of justice. O Allah, you are my protector. O Allah, you are my guide. O Allah, you are my salvation by night and by day. O Allah, through your holy prophet, O Allah, Drew Ali. Amen. Holy Issa, Holy Issa, Holy Issa. Islam. And now I come before you with the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. Salvation. Our God, unity. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the citizens of Moorish America. Act 2, the bylaws. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister. On any occasion at all, they may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, color folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish Americans must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America, and then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God Allah. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, the founding father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America. And now that this meeting has been open according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, according to Act 2, and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, we say Islam, 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 Islam. Now I come before you, Moorish King, chapter 18, chapter of the week. Yehoshua presented his camel. Yehoshua presented Islam. Dr. Bati Bey?
Islam, my fault, pardon about it.
Islam. You want to read chapter 18? That's what I thought you were coming in, but I got it.
I got you.
You got it? Okay, Islam. Go ahead, Dr. Bati Bey. We love you.
First, I'd like to rise and give all manner of praises to Allah, honors to the Prophet, honors to our theocratic government, our royal council, our flag, seal, and emblem, our divine constitution, our swift angels, muftis, citizens alike, honors to all the Moors that helped bring about this class, and peace and love to the Moors. Chapter 18, Yehoshua, presented with his camel, goes to Lahore where he abides. Act 1, says 1. A caravan of merchantmen was journeying through the Kashmir Valley as Yehoshua passed that way, and they were going to Lahore, a city of the land, the five-stream land. The merchantmen had heard the prophet speak. He seen his mighty works in Leh, and they were glad to see him once again. And when they knew that he was going to Lahore and then across the Sindhi through Persia and further west, and that he had no beast on which to ride, they freely gave him a noble Bactrian beast, well saddled and equipped. And Yehoshua journeyed with the caravan. And when he reached Lahore, Ajain and some other Brahmic priests received him with delight. Ajanin was the priest who came to Yehoshua in the nighttime in Benares many months before and heard his words of truth. And Yehoshua was Ajnin's guest. He taught again in many things, revealed to him the secret of the healing arts. He taught him how he could control the spirits of the air, the fire, the water, the earth, and explain to him the secret doctrine of forgiveness and blotting out sins. One day, Ajnin sat with Yehoshua in the temple porch. A bank of wandering singers and musicians paused before the court to sing and play. Their music was most rich and delicate. And Yehoshua said, among the high-bred people of the land, we have no sweeter music than that these uncouth children of the wilderness bring here to us. From whence this talent and his power? In one short life, they surely could not gain such grace of voice, such knowledge of the laws of harmony and tone. These people are not young. 1,000 years ago would not suffice to give them such divine expressiveness and such purity of voice and touch. Men call them prodigies. There are no prodigies. All things result from natural law. 10,000 years ago, these people mastered harmony. In days of old, they trod the busy thoroughfares of life and caught the melody of birds and played on harps of perfect form. And they have come again to learn still other lessons from the very notes of manifest. These wandering people form a part of heaven's orchestra, and in the land of perfect things, the very angels will delight to hear them play and sing. And Yehoshua taught the common people of Lahore. He healed their sick and showed to them the way to rise to better things by helping others. He said, we are not rich by what we get and hold. The only thing we keep are those we give away. If we would live a perfect life, give forth your life in service for your kind and for the form of life, that men esteem the lower forms of life. But Yehoshua could not tarry long in Lahore. He bade the priest and other friends farewell, and then he took his camel and he went his way towards Sydney. Islam, Islam, Islam. Peace and love to all you Moors. And I would like to turn this meeting over back to our assistant chairman, Torre Simpson Bay, Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. Gratitude, Dr. Bati Bey, leading assistant and reading the chapter of the week. Islam, Islam. Well, family, definitely want to say once again, gratitude for your patience. We got everybody in. Like I said, I had to reset my email. Got it working now. But at this time, we're going to go ahead and move forward. Praise Allah and us to our holy prophet, Noble to Ali, as we rise on the 7th and get ready for another grand Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate class, sponsored by our Moorish American government. Platform provided by the God Allah Georgia Territory. And our host, our grand host for this, for our class is Dr. Shedu Aminti Muhammad Shepshuel, our national assistant, Grand Sheikh of Moorish America. Islam, Islam. Are you there, Grand Man?
Islam, can you hear me, Grand Man?
Islam. I was like, yeah, I got you. Loud and clear. Islam.
Gratitude, Islamism. Islam, Islam, Islam. Islam, Moorish America, want to rise first and give all praises to the great God, Allah, our Father God, Allah, and honors to his holy prophet, honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, El Hajj Sharif Abdul Ali, that is. We give honors to our Moorish kin once again, here, there, and everywhere. And therefore, honors to all of you who are continuously honoring yourselves by being yourselves. We give honors to our Grand National Seal. We give honors to our Grand National Emblem, National Flag. Again, divine constitution and bylaws, and honors to all of you who are indeed a living manifestation and personification of everything that our holy prophet brought to make us a nation. Islam, Moorish America. We want to welcome you again to another Egyptian Adeptus Research Sultanate. I reset the modem yesterday. So praise be to Allah, we should be all right on this particular drawing. It's been a minute where I had to reset it, and we'll see how everything goes. But actually what we want to do, because this is like the 7th session dealing with the Demotic, and we want to open it up, you know, and I want to actually go into some measures. I want to show the different resources that the Moors will have. And I thought about it. I said, man, if we go letter by letter, it's going to drag it out a whole lot more longer. And I said, well, you know, why not we go ahead, and since we already had a basis, our Moorish kin already pretty much got the idea of the Demotic, just like we do with all of the other languages that came forth, to keep it moving. What we'll do at the end of the class, we'll bring certain measures forth with homework, but we want to give our family all of the resources, you know, that they can utilize, you know, in doing it. Because I can say, after what we've been through watching our Moorish kin do what they do, we definitely don't need to hold their hand, so to speak. You know, yeah, we'll link up with each other, and, you know, when we have measures, but I can firmly say that with this Demotic, we actually got some foothold really with the resources. The resources is what did better. We actually have even more resources than we did with the other languages, which I will bring up in a few minutes. And so I want to get our family into getting into the whole of those resources, and also pulling up all of the special alphabets, you know, and you know, the whole dictionary, you know, is what we want to try to introduce our family to. But we will briefly touch over some things. I want to kind of breeze over some things, but I want to do it in an open forum type way, where we all participate. And that's where we at. And so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen here first and foremost, so that our Moorish kin can see. Well, we're gonna actually start where with what we are most familiar with. That ain't what I was trying to pull up. Let me see here. Okay, here we go, right here. That's where I'm at, right there. That's what I'm trying to pull up right there. Okay, so there we go. Okay. Yawn it is, like the old folk used to say it. You know, back when I was a young whippersnapper. All right, let me see here. Okay, so you see my screen shared now, Brother Simpson Bay?
Islam, right?
Okay, Islam.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Zoom invitation right now.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you can see it. So what I'm gonna do is this is what I would like to go back to, because we already familiar with the letter A and all of that. We know what the letter A looked like. It'll jump out the page on us if we were to go into it. But what I wanted to do is go back to this particular document, which has been our friend throughout this journey of us going into the Demotic. This would be one of the best friends that you continue to have as we go into this measure. I encourage our family to thoroughly consider studying this particular drawing with all of the lessons in it. You see, read through it, study it, because you will learn your rules from here. You know, and you will always be able to go back to this particular drawing and deal with your words. Now that we have the actual alphabet, we don't even have to worry about which letters, you know, correspond to which mark or symbol here, you know, because we actually have all of that. What we will do, though, we'll end up putting it in the abjad order, you know, and it will be these tools that we will utilize to begin building from the dictionary standpoint, you know, that in which we understand from the Arabic, what we learn from the Coptic, you know, and so forth and so on. Remember, we're tracing ourselves back through the language. So all of these things here that we have seen, we are very familiar with these things now. We just have to, like I say, abjad them, so to speak. Want to become familiar with some of this terminology here, you know, dealing with the Demotic and what a lot of people like to use. We know that the European use the term determinatives and so forth and so on. That's the language that they are using. You know, I would call it, if I were to say it, you know, we would call these demonstrations more of triune expressions. You know, that would be a grand drawing, but we'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So nevertheless, we want our family to keep these lessons, master this whole PDF right here dealing with the lessons. Because the better you master this PDF dealing with the lesson more, the more familiar you will become with all of these other things that we have spoke of recently. You know, this gives aspects of dealing with where one can learn the definitions, you know, learning how to read the transliteration, because we know that this is the actual, you can call it mark or symbol, but this is your transliteration. This is always your transliteration. This is the text, this is the transliteration, and this is the translation. So that's 3 stages: text, transliteration, translation. You know, that's going to be your best friend again too, as well, knowing the difference between those meshes. Over here, the same thing: text, transliteration, translation. Now note, you don't have any vowels in your transliteration, so we just substituted with the letter E. I mean, you can use U, you can use A, E, I, O, U, whichever one you want to use, to be honest with you, because there are no vowels in this language, and that's how it is in most of the languages that you find. Even in regards to dealing with Arabic, Arabic didn't have vowels there until they put the diacritical marks at the top and the bottom of the script. So you would have had something similar to this right here. Same thing with what they deal with when they talk about Hebrew. Hebrew have certain marks in it that basically denotes, you know, whether you have some vowels there or whether it's dealing with just consonants. You know, so in all of these scripts, you will find that dynamic, that the vowels are often added. In certain systems, they choose and say, well, we're going to take the A in the I. Some might say the A, we're going to take the U, I in the E, you know, and these are BI vowel systems. And I mean, but we dealing with what we are, when we establish what we establish, we will open the door for all of those, because the A, E, I, O, U, even in the vowel world, really come from our people. Matter of fact, you know, they go back to Old Nubic and what we call Meroitic, which sometimes certain scholars will confuse with Demotic. You know, there's a relation there, but they are obviously two different scripts, as we know. So we're going to touch on all of that, you know, as we move along through these different lessons. So we're going to come back to these things that I'm going over in a second. I just want to point them out right now. And then we're going to come back from the top and we're going to see what our Moorish kin have picked up along the way. That way we know where we are along the way, so to speak. You see, and we don't expect one to be supremely adept in dealing with this in special measure. We just want to see where our family is along the way. Okay, so you know, they also showed here, and we brought this out in our last study, you know, like they like to use the term feminine and masculine when they deal with certain words. You know, for example, we can see in the masculine, as we pointed out before, back is servant, you know, but when you go into the feminine, it's servant is beket, and they add the T there. Just like you have what we would call Sert as daughter, but when you come up here, you have Sir as son. You see, you have, I mean, a whole bunch of different comparisons that are here. Hint for wife, right? But when you go up here, we would know without even seeing it, okay, he. You see? I mean, yeah, we can just go into certain things, you know, them little small rules that you can learn along the way. I even have some more things to help us learn the grammar even better. You know, also, you will see the W that's also used in certain aspects, you know, after the feminine T, so to speak. You know, really it deals with plurality, you know, at this particular lesson. So when you say priest, it will be actually W-A-B in normal sense, but if they add that W there, that's priests with the S. So you can look at the W as an S marker. You see, like we, house, with the W at the end is house as. You see, Bach, servant, but then with the W at the end, servants. You see, Remt, man, but at the W at the end, men. You see, and you say, well, hurt, child, W at the end, children. You see, sin, brother, W at the end, you know, brothers. You see, that's why we say neter, God, and neteru, gods. You see, same dynamic. So just keep them things in mind. These are just rules that we can pick up on. Okay, so let's see here. We want to get very familiar with the different styles of writing. That's my main concern, us getting familiar with the styles of writing. You see? And I love the way that they give you the basic definition here, like, you know, right here, metet ma'at, which is really, ma'at is truth. You see? They have the word amir here, emir, amir, you know, which we know that gave birth to the Arabic word amir, which means commander, which is overseer, and it still corresponds to the M&R. We showed you, we had this conversation with this one brother that was trying to say that the word M&R didn't mean overseer. He was trying to say it would relate more to amir. Where here we see the word amir. Let me blow that up. The word amir, which is A-M-Y-R, which would be in Arabic A-M-I-R, commander. We can see it kept its original state, you know, because if you look up the word amir and you go into a thesaurus, I'm pretty sure, you know, the word overseer will come up. Or you look the word overseer up, I'm pretty sure the word commander will surface. If not, we know an overseer is a commander over things, so to speak. But nevertheless, you know, he wanted to isolate the term amir and make it the word overseer, and the word, we trace the word more back to, because he said it didn't relate to M&R, but we can see that is incorrect right here. You know, M&R and amir, they are actually related to each other, which would make sense. You see, In fact, the only thing that separates a mirror from the word mirror, M and R, is the letter A not being on the front here, but mirror will be the most relatable root to this. And you can even see here, anytime you're dealing with this word mirror, it's got something to do with somebody being an overseer, a general, a commander or something. You see, so we can actually refer to our consul general. For example, we can use the term mir mesu. You see, mir mesu. You see, mir mesu, generals. Another drawing here. Notice here, the M and R there, that is chief again, inspector, chief inspector. This is somebody over something. So it should be plain and clear as to what these things represent. And for those who don't know, just to give a brief measure on positions, whether we know it or not, the root position of authority goes back to the creator, the great God. You see, and we know that we are gods, you see. And so if the root authority goes back to God, when you look at a general, to be honest with you, a general is supposed to be a vicegerent that's acting in the place of the creator. Anytime you have been given authority over a people, you know, you have been given the role of being second only is to the creator. It's not just a position. This ain't something you can take lightly. In fact, you know, it's stated that people won't be held accountable for them going astray, but the leadership. That's why we got to be careful what we do in leadership as well. So when you deal with chiefs, inspectors, overseers, and all that, in all actuality, you're really talking about vicegerents. You're talking about lords of the plane of things made manifest. And furthermore, in the highest aspect, you're dealing with lords of the plane of soul, being able to govern yourself in your soul actions, your ability to think, will, reason, understand, and remember. You see, but again, we have Mitterson here, chief inspector is what we see. So, you know, these are powerful drawings, just having this knowledge to where we become so familiar with these things. When we see them, we know what they mean. Like when we see Pera, we said it so many times, we know Pera is Pharaoh. You know, me being familiar with this word, Netter, you know, I can see temple when I see this because I'm familiar with the word. So it's basically us building up in our vocabulary to where we will begin to see these things jump out. We see Tamut. We know Mut actually deals with mother, if we already studied these things right here. You see? Ta would seem to be dealing with the aspect from what I'm seeing. You see, Ta, you see, Tamut, the or a mother. They actually use the or a mother. It could be either one. Mother, and then it says is, and they don't use a word for that, but they go back to the again. It says net mesta, mita, neti, ari, care. And remember, when you see that line on the bottom, it may look like an H because you see the letter H, but it's actually care with the K. Character. Remt. We already know that's dealing with a man somewhere, right? But it's actually saying men here. But you know, Neb, you know, I mean, we can just go into this, but we want to be able to become so proficient to where we ain't just seeing some of the words here. We want to come into being able to recognize each and every one of them when we see them. Like I can see plenty of words right here that I can identify with, but some of them I'm not all the way familiar with, you see? And so practice is what will make us more familiar with these things, you see? And so, yeah, we have drawings that show, they give certain rules in relation to dealing with what they call compound verbs and consistent of verb plus noun. And, you know, we want to use this. That's why I say master this document, because out of all of them that I have, this one gives you a lot of the stuff dealing with rules that we can relate to the language that we already speak. You see? And so it really boiled down to just becoming familiar, and we will become familiar the more we communicate with each other. And like I said, we want to even use some of these things to speak to each other. Build up in that aspect, because that's what'll keep it fresh in our mind. Like we may memorize this phrase, akrimit, but this is ak, because we see, well, no, that's ak, not with the K, more of a soft, because the air is going up now. Ak, you see how I was able to catch that though. And so remet, remet, rearc, see, rearc, well, rearc pay, arc remet, rearc pay. So we got to, we just learn it and put it together, and then we say, well, we know this means what kind of man is he to you? Just like we say, Unqua Jetsonan, that's something we know what it means now. We say Ankh Pianksen, Ankh Pianksen. In other words, what this is, am I your brother? You see, just different measures of whatever. Want to pick up on some of those things. And these things will, like, this will be a good one to learn right here. It is the will of God. Nashinu inpa netter ne. Nashinu in panetter. And basically, more practice or whatever we can pronounce it. But these are things that we should learn and be able to express these things. I know I most definitely will be going in and pulling out certain things like this, and then we will give our Moorish kin that drawing. And as we build, just like you do anything else with the process of building, you will become more familiar with it. You see, here's another one here. Renet Remet Rachref. Renet Remet Rachref. The best thing about richest wealth of a wise man is his speech. So a lot of these things too, by the way, that we are seeing these different lines, these are different lines that's dealing with transliterations of a whole piece of a text. So by the time, if you were to memorize line by line, if you wanted to take time to do that, or, just becoming familiar with different portions, know that these things are just portions of one whole portion in a script. Like 10 different lines we see here that's being broke down. That's what you see being broke down in these different sections. They are all a part of a particular portion in the text. So learning all of these things are key. Being able to go into these drawings, and I guarantee you these things begin to jump out at you and you become very familiar with them. Just like the same thing here, they got the same thing we went through earlier, showing the text, the transliteration, and then the translation. Now, when we go into the translation, like I said, we will be going into those things that relate. We will basically tie these transliterated expressions not only to this one word, but what is the relation of the I in our circle 7. So if you go throughout the circle 7 and look for the word I and connect it back to the transliteration, it will help you be able to identify these different words and connect them, to certain words. So that'll be a good drawing. You see the word strength, we can do the same thing, or the word mouth, or the word heart, and go back and refer to your circle 7. This is how we're going to build up our lexicon and our dictionary. That's how we're going to make it Moorish. You got me? So you take some of these same words and make them applicable to your circle 7. And then you actually extend the vocabulary, because that's all they do when they write these dictionaries like Arabic and Hebrew and Coptic dictionaries. It's really part of taking, it's basically when they deal with a word family, they don't do nothing more than take a word, that it relates to. It's agreed that, okay, this means I. So let's go get us a thesaurus. And the thesaurus is going to exhaust all the words in relation to dealing with that. Now we can also deal with etymology, because most of the time you have to find an etymology root dictionary on its own. But we can actually include the etymology in our definition of the words. Instead of it being I, we give you the definition according to the etymology of I. So that anytime you open up our book, the etymology is there along with the definition. Just give an insight of where we're trying to go with this drawing. And we're gonna have a methodology by which we are able to compile these things, whether we do it 7 words a piece, you know what I mean, that we choose to come forth with. And as we bring these things forth with the definition, we come here, we look at it and go through it, make sure everything is intact. All of these things tie back to their roots as they should, you know, to make them as comprehensive as possible to those who will be receiving, you know, these demotic texts, meaning like the young and not yet born, and people also that want to learn these things. We gonna put this in the Moorish perspectives of an organized way. The European always systematically put things in order according to the way they like it. We gonna bring the Moorish measure to the manifest. And that's a drawing, that's a grand drawing. And trust me, these things will also bring, they will become industrious acts. They will bring aid and assistance to the government as well. You know, not only will people be able to learn from them, and we learn from them, but also, you know, our family will be able to become economically stable by these same things that we putting together. You see, so this is going to be a grand work when we finally start putting together our own Demotic, you know, Coptic, you know, anything dealing with KEMET, you know, our own dictionary. We want people to come to Moorish America and get the definition, and not just rely, you know, on what the Arabs say and their interpretation of what the Romans say or what so-called Greek philosophy is saying. That's the whole thing. This is a great work we're doing here. So yeah, it's the same here. You have your text, you have your transliteration, your translation here, along with becoming familiar with the alphabet. We can't forget to do that, you know, so we want to be practicing in that. But this is basically all you need to make you become familiar at a basic level. And the what's gonna make us adept again is the amount of time that we communicate, you know, using the terminology. That's what's gonna impress these things in our memory, where we begin to use them on a constant basis. You see? So we can go on. All this right here is really just the same thing, but different lessons, giving different breakdowns, taking you a little further into it. You know, a lot of it is really just becoming familiar with the language and not being so overtaken by the rules that's put here. Because a lot of this stuff we already know in our language, but, you know, we will become more knowledgeable one and able to teach those with these special rules, so to speak. And we didn't even need them in most cases of just becoming familiar with this, you see? So as you can see, it's really the same thing being demonstrated throughout the rest of the text. You got the whole of a text here, you know, 10 portions, and then they got the breakdown of each line, you know, so that's basically what you're seeing. So the more seem like as we get further, the longer the text become, so to speak. So we just want to become familiar with the vocabulary by using this. This is your best friend at this particular time until we put together what needs to be put together. So again, you know, they have your feminine and masculine expressions and all that type of demonstration there. But let's go back to the top. And we'll go back to the top, and we want to actually open up the floor and get some drawings from our family, you know, as we point out certain things. And what we want to try to figure out is how well familiar our family is, not so much and so with definition, because we got the definitions right here. We want to see how familiar our family is with pronouncing certain words, meaning the use of a certain vowels that are not there, and we can use the E, you know, just as an exercise. So we're gonna go back right. We actually start. Yeah, we'll start here. I could start with single words. We'll mix in between. And want to get a volunteer more to open up their line. And we're gonna call on a few of our Moorish kin. You know, and we want to go forward in this particular area here. So is there more that would like to exercise? There are 5 right now.
Islam.
Islam. Yes, sir. Okay, so this top line, E1, my brother Bati Bey. How would you pronounce this particular line here, where it says a man exists, there's a man?
When Waremet.
Great, great. You see how masterfully you did that? I'm talking about it didn't take the brother. It didn't take him no time, you know. Okay, well, since you went there, how would you pronounce the next one?
When Waremet Mewet.
Okay, now remember, that's good. I like the way you did. Now, in all actuality here, you didn't even have to add wet. It could have been moot. You see? Yeah. That's how you could have brought it forth. You see? And so it would have been Wenwa Remet Mut. You see? And so a man is dead. So what words, if we were to look at this, what word would you say correspond with the word when?
I would say when. I don't know why it kind of linked to me. When would be something like, I say exist. It might be because I'm thinking that we going from the left to the right demonstration in English, the how they pronounce it. That I might be wrong, but I thought Remet was more so like a man. So that's why I said that.
Right, that's right. The Remet, that's correct. That's correct.
So that that is kind of putting the object or what the action when you look at reading it in the Demotic, they're putting the action before the person, the subject, so to speak. So it says when we say when looks like exists, or that whole when looks like exists to me.
Right. And that's most definitely a grand drawing. Now you can actually see if you really look at, I'm gonna give you a prime example here. If you notice, it's almost like they jump back and forth between here. You see, like you said, this would be exist, you know, and you go into wa would actually correspond with a, you see?
Yeah.
So we can say exists a man if you were really looking at it from that aspect, but it's really a man exists when you put it in its proper context. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There is a man. So right, I concur with you on that. Now, what about the next one down here, E3? How would you pronounce that?
When na paremet and pa and pe, because it got the
Yep, that's good. That's good. Yes, sir. We give honors to you for that. And if you were to break that word down in comparison to what you just spoke in transliteration, how would you correspond to English to that? And I'm gonna stand back and let you do that.
Okay. This is gonna be interesting. So the when na would be I would have to say it's talking about it's saying, I would say when na pa would be in the house, and remet in pa would be the man. So in the house is a man, but it's saying the man
The
was
man
in the
is in the house.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's really just re-emphasizing the house again, even though, you know, like you said, you know, the man is in the house. And the word, what we can see for was, I would say would be no.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yeah.
And it, as everything else, process of elimination, you know, that's grand how you brought that forth. Now look down here at the bottom. Notice it says it. When no is the past tense form of the verb to be. And that's what it was coming in. You see what I'm saying? Right behind that. The past tense form of to be. Because to be is to exist. But if you're dealing with the past tense form, then you're talking about what was, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where your when now comes into play, just like we said. And so being that we know that now, anytime we see that, we know that, you know, if to be is something in the past tense of what is, and that's why we talk about time, for example. You see, the present tense in one state becomes, you know, in all actuality, we say, well, the present tense is what we're dealing with now. You know, past tense, it goes beyond that as special measure. I'm just dealing with time, past, present, and future aspects of it. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And so, yeah, that's a powerful demonstration. So it says, when now is the past tense form of the verb to be. To be is to be here right now. But when you go into the past tense form of being right now, again, family, that goes into now what was. You see? Matter of fact, when I just said was, that was the present tense. But then when you go into the past tense form of me saying that, it's gone now. And what is that? All right, it's the past. And so just think about it like that, family. So whenever you see this, when no, this is definitely a measure that's referring to was. You see, was. So it say the man was in the house. Powerful. So E4, brother. Can you hear me, brother T-Bay?
Yeah, I'm going over it in my head.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I done dropped the stuff. Go ahead, brother. Take your time.
So I have Aparemet Sedim Naimet Wet.
Islam. And the man will hear my words. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm gonna just say that. What word do you think in here is being used for the word words? And we should be able, that's an easy one too.
I'm
gonna pronounce that how it's supposed to be pronounced too when you point it out.
I would say
Would it sure? Be
Huh?
Think about it. Words. It will be matut.
Matut. Okay. I see what you're talking about. Matut.
And the D being interchangeable with the T, you sometimes will see an MDWT, medut, which is where they come up with the concept of metaneta, right? This is another way where I exposed that brother. I was telling him that the term metaneta don't just refer to some symbols. The word metaneta actually refer to words in general.
Could you pronounce that word again?
It's actually matut.
Matut.
You know, the T is interchangeable with D though. So you'll see it sometime based on who transliterating it, it becomes medut. So medut is still words.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And basically we already know we got the drawing on this special measure. You know, the last one we have is how would you pronounce that one, my brother?
What, E5?
Yes, sir, E5.
Paremet Mut.
Yes, sir, Paremet Mut.
Mut, yeah, Paremet Mut.
Yeah, Mut. It's all dealing with
Mut.
you know the dialect from that aspect. Because remember,
I keep wanting to put an E in between the.
it's not. Yeah, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But see, being that we know the word mut, I'm familiar with it. That's why I wouldn't put it there. You see, because the U actually is already a vowel there with W. You see what I'm saying? W is really U.
And when I think
Some
when I'm
people
hearing
actually write it that way. Go ahead, brother.
when I'm hearing the moot, you know, it sounds like in law when they say something is moot, it means it's dead.
Right.
You know, so it kind of correlates.
I like that. You show right. I just seen that the other day. You're right. So that may be, see, that's etymology. You see how you picked up with that on this particular word? That's powerful. Yeah, we got to definitely look into that. And I would ask that you look into that as well. And because that's probably one of the words we'll have to correspond with that in this particular case here. Now notice, you know, yeah, that's a powerful demonstration. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go on to our other Morris King. Want to give honor to you, grand man, for coming forth. You are most definitely they jumping out at you. You know, so we know that you're gonna progress well in this special demonstration. Islam. All right. But we got one of our other Moors, Ken. This ain't as long, Moors, but you know, it's definitely an exercise. Who is it that would like to come forth and deal with these meshes? We're gonna deal with a few. Islam, brother Marvin Edwards Bay. Gratitude, General.
Gratitude. Oh, so you want me to deal with the transliteration?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. How would you pronounce the transliterations there? Go ahead, brother.
Okay, I would say the first one would be at.
Correct.
Okay, keep going down.
Yes, sir. Go ahead. All the way. Netter. That's right.
Neket.
That's correct.
Wak.
That's correct.
Sing.
That's correct.
Herein.
That's correct.
Here.
Correct.
Okay, going up to the next side.
And I want to stop there too, brother Marvin Edwards Bay. Keep in mind, pyramid means house, and in most cases they're talking about the pyramid. So all you got to remember is when you deal with pyramid, you're dealing with two different words. Okay. We can say two portions, pure, mid. You see?
Right.
So just remember that when you see that PR, you really talking about the pyramid or a house, so to speak. They use that terminology. In fact, go ahead, brother.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so like that's pure, you know, and you saw the pyramid. Okay, well now that wouldn't relate just putting the MD or something like that with that, right?
No, you wouldn't do that. But what I will say though is that the word pure and mir, these are two terms that were adopted in the Sufi circles for the master teachers as well. So it's not strange, you know, we talk about building the temple of perfected man. So, you know, they got one where they refer to him as the pure or the pure murshid, or what they call the pure in the mirror. You know, these are names like mastermind, master teacher. They come from this Kemetic word here. I just wanted to bring that forth as well. Islam.
Okay.
Carry on.
Okay. Wab.
Yes, sir. Now let me ask you a question without going there. How would we make that plural?
Put a W on the end.
There you go.
I don't know.
There you go.
I wouldn't know how to pronounce. Okay. So that would be wabu. Would that be
yes,
how it?
sir. Yes, sir. And then if you wanted to make it a feminine, what would you put on the end?
Mm. Wamut? No, Wabut.
You're right. You put the T on there. That's right. You see?
Yes, sir.
So that would take you more into the priestess, so to speak, right?
Right, right.
But Islam, I just wanted to add that in. Go ahead, brother. Carry on.
So that's like that Netert.
That's right. And you will see that. I know you done seen that before, right?
Yeah, yes, sir.
That's
Absolutely.
right. And in most cases, they're referring to a goddess, right?
Right.
That's like when you hear Nefertiti. Nefertiti.
Okay.
You see?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. He.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey. Hey.
Yeah, that's right. Some people say hui, they'll put the U there. I've seen it, but hey, in this case, because we utilizing the E vowel. Islam.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
To me.
Yes, sir. Timme. Timme. Yes, sir.
Okay.
You see how they pronounce it down here with the D because it's interchanged. They said Timme. You see?
Timme. Yeah.
Yeah. You always keep that in mind. Anytime you see that T, that D is interchangeable. That's why we can say the word autumn, A-T-U-M, gave birth to the word atom.
Okay.
You know, and also gave birth to the word Adam.
You know, yes, sir. I just want to just ask a quick question while we're here. I mean, just period, with all of these words, the script to the left or the text.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'm looking at, you got 2 letters in the transliteration, but this here looks like, is that only 2 letters over here?
No, it's all in the style of the writing of the individual. You see, that's what we're gonna get into that later. That's a little more aspects of advancement, but that's why I'm gonna give you the dictionary. Right. After the day, I'm gonna give you the dictionary for every letter. You know what I mean? And well, I'm gonna give you access to it, you know, where you can go in there and look at the different style, because just trying to teach how different people write, you know, that'll take up a whole lot of time. So it's really going to be given to you so that you can look at these various different things and say, okay, I see he wrote it that way. He stopped it right here. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So that's going to be things, you know, we'll bring these things up together when it comes time to discuss them if we have a question, which we will have a lot of questions about them. Ms. Long?
Well, I will say it's making more sense, you know what I mean, since the beginning and when we started, I put it like that. Okay.
Yeah, it's long.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, you got to remember, this ain't stuff that we knew. So applaud yourself for being able to come in just the course really of, we can say a couple of days, let's say 7 days.
Sure.
You know, what you have learned thus far, you learned in 7 days.
Wow.
And this ain't never been done before. You know, what we doing right now. They don't teach this stuff. Go ahead, brother.
Right. No, I was just gonna say, it's encouraging. I put it like that. You know what I mean? It's exciting too at the same time.
Oh yeah. Very exciting.
Very motivating.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Remit. Remit?
Yes, sir. Remet. That's right.
Okay, Remet. Okay, sir.
That's right.
Okay, are we?
Yeah. And now, you know, it made me think about this word seer, being son. Don't that make you think about what a European got the word sire from?
Yes, sir. Definitely.
You know, because, you know, they would like to make their kings, you know, basically almost godlike, you know, and that comes from Kemet, really.
That's right. Yep.
You know, Sutin, you know, and actually this goes into the word Sarah. You see, you will see Sarah Netta, you know, the son of Neter, you know, certain things like that. Sarah is the son of Ra in most cases. You see?
Wow. Yes, sir.
So kings in England, which really come through, it don't surprise us because we got to remember those in England come through the lineage of the Moors that were there first. And the Moors took their teachings across from Kemet, like our brother GM James said over there. So it don't surprise us certain words survive coming from Kemet, including the word mirror in relation to dealing with the Moors.
Right, right.
You know, so it's why we say masterminds are able to trace themselves back and thus they know. So Islam, Grand Man. Well, Islam, Grand National Secretary of the State. You ready already?
No, I just had a question. I had
Go
a
ahead,
question
go.
in reference to that. Praise the Lord. Having already risen, giving praise and honor where due. For SR, could you also see the sir in that?
Yep. That's
Okay.
basically
Because I was thinking about sire too. But I was asking about the sir. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah. Sire and sir, actually, you know, you would see those things as the word sir deriving from sire. Sire is just an older English word in relation to dealing with the word sir. You see? And matter of fact, when you go into the medieval time, by the time they were talking about the knights, it would say Sir Lancelot or Sir somebody, Sir, you know what I mean? So Islam, grand observation, Grand National Secretary of the State. And see, these are things that we can show also in the dictionaries when we put them together. See how the Moors are putting that stuff together? It's just that simple, because that gives you lead to the word. And I'm pretty sure you'll find a whole lot more when you look at these words, you know, going all the way back to their original state. Whereas we see now, we say sir, and we go to sire, and then we say, okay, well, let's deal with it from a Comedian aspect, Sa and Ra. Well, we know Sarah, we just said that means the son of Ra. Powerful. So gratitude, Moors. All right. Well, we already went over a few of these, but it won't hurt. Who's there that would like to come forth and deal with this particular portion?
Islam. Divine Minister Mubas Bey, Oklahoma Consulate, let me rise in perfect praise, give all praise, honor, and glory to our Father God Allah, our illustrious Prophet, our High Sharif Abdul Ali. I give honor to Act 1, our flag, ensigns, emblems, swift angels, Mufti core, and everything that is Moorish. Islam. I have whooped, and wife is Kemp.
No, that wouldn't be Kemp, because it's not the air at the bottom. It actually would be as it is, but more of a hard H. Hump. There you go. Right.
Mut.
There you go. And I want to stop you right there too, brother Bates Bay. Notice the word mut dealing with mother and dead two different ways. Dead has the T with the dot under the bottom. Mut here has the T with the dot in between the W and the T. I just wanted to make that plain. Islam? Okay, go ahead, brother.
Remska.
Renept.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Bak.
That's right.
Bak. And then search. Search.
Some people even say Suret, but you know, Suret is good. Cert is good because they just interject in the vowel. You know, so it ain't no big deal there. If you ever see the word Suret, don't panic. You got me?
Islam.
Okay, Islam. Go ahead, brother.
Shimt.
That's right. Yes, sir. Shimt. That's right. Now, why does the T find its presence here, brother? Bates Bay, Bati Bay, Mubasa Bay, pardon self. Is this because of it plurality? Is it because of it masculine or feminine?
Feminine.
Good. There we go. Powerful. Thank you, brother. Thank you. All right. Gratitude for that. Is there any other more who would like to come forth with this particular portion? We're using the hammer of repetition with some of these words now, but they're coming in different forms. Masculine, feminine, and plural. Islam, is there any more that would like to come forth and deal with these transliterations?
Paul?
Islam, Grand National Secretary of State.
Oh my goodness. Islam. A Y or
Are we?
are we?
Islam.
Okay. Now this .w, is that pronounceable? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, and it's almost with this Y being there, it make it kind of silent because it's hard to push out.
Okay.
We could actually say, are we, and kind of breathe it out, I guess you would say in that particular case. It's easier with the other words than it is with that one. But yeah, it is pronounceable. Islam.
Gratitude. Wab. For priest.
Islam.
Hurt.
Oh yeah. Kurt. Islam.
Okay. Kurt. Gratitude.
Like a slight push into it. It's more drug out like her too. Like you pushing the H out. Because it ain't a
Hurt.
full K.
Say it again.
More like a her too. But it don't have a full K because it ain't got, you see how you have that dot on the with an arrow going up on the T. Now if it's a K on the H, it'll have the arrow going down. That where your would come in, but that's more like a long H. Her too. You see?
Hurt.
It's
Praise the Lord. Okay, hold on. Silhouette.
Islam. And you don't even have to put a lot of emphasis on the S because that arrow is showing it's a soft S.
Okay.
It's more like smooth. You see? Like you trying to combine it.
Smooth.
Yeah, smooth.
What?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Almost like s'mores. Islam. That's the only thing I could think of.
Okay. All right. Baki.
Baku. Right. Baku. Right. Islam.
Remit.
Remetu. Yeah, remetu. It's like you're trying to push that, get that little, and I'm finding the U, that's my bridge, to put that W in there, just say, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my bridge. Go ahead, sis.
Remetu.
Islam.
Sinu.
Exactly. Sinu. Oh yeah, praise you got it, sis.
Sweating bullets over here, but praise the Lord.
Oh no, you got it. And it just take practice because we don't talk this stuff every day. So you're doing good, man. Y'all Moors y'all on it. Y'all are on it. And one question too, Grand National Secretary of the State, would this deal with the masculine, feminine, or would this deal with the plural form in regards to dealing with
plural?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
You said that like I wish you would. Islam. Gratitude, Grand National Secretary of the State. We love you, sis.
Love you too.
Oh, man, I'm
Gratitude.
elated in here with our Moorish kin. All right, boys. You know, all of this, whether we know it or not, by us going over this, all this is doing is impressing this in our memory. And I guarantee you, when you see stuff from now on, now remember now, you're gonna see certain people when they transliterate things, depending on who did it, you got to be able to apply some of your rules. If you see the D in the place of where a T would normally be, don't be fretted by that, just know it can be either. Or if you see the W, you know, in certain place where it's supposed to be, and then you see it in another place, it's a U at the end, you know, that's just dealing with the person that was that was their choice in their transliteration. It don't change the word, it's just the way that they chose to put it out there, you know. So little stuff like that will come up here and there. Like you see the word remt here, R-M-T, but remet, you will see an E present in certain cases. Just like the name Amen. In certain times, you'll see Amen spelled A-M-E-N. Then you'll see it A-M-O-N. You might see it A-M-I-N. If you go into Arabic, I mean, you know, you might see it A-M-U-N, A-M-A-N. But nevertheless, the A-M-N is the root, and it's always present, just like this. So keep those things in mind. They don't change the meaning of the word. That's just the way one chose to transliterate the word, Islam. So can we have a more to come forth and deal with this particular portion in E622 and 15? And we're gonna get a few more in here too.
I don't mind going again if nobody don't want to go.
Oh yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Because the more you try, just whoever, the more you try to do it, the more it's going to come to you.
That's right. That's
okay,
right.
I mean, I'm saying that now I'm going to mess up.
He said, I got it.
No.
Go ahead, Mo.
Okay. Oh, remit in to me.
Say that again.
Remit into me.
Remit in Tommy.
Okay. Remit in to me.
Yeah, to me. Yeah, that's
say
right.
To me.
That's right. That's good.
I don't know why I won't say to me, because it's to me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, the next one is that just the S in the end?
Which one? To my yeah.
No, I'm looking at the other side, I guess. Okay.
Right.
And
go up under the text.
Okay. Seneb. That's almost sound like Seneb.
That's
Seneb.
correct.
Okay. Gold dealer. Goldsmith.
It's Snap.
Snap. Okay. It's only two there, right?
Yep, that's it. And remember these definitions too, so that when you ever see these things again, if you ever see them in a text, you will see them. You see?
Sure.
And the word that's used for gold here, which word would that be there, brother? I just want to get a see how what you would go into dealing with this right. If you would say which word represented gold in this particular phrase, which one would it be?
From Seneb?
Yeah, that's right.
I would say, well, Neb probably is dealer. I guess sin.
Actually, Neb is gold.
Okay.
It's all right though.
I got a little dyslexic.
That's the Neb portion. That's really one word. But
okay.
Yeah, so that's just the way they sound it out without the vowels in between it. But that word Neb is the gold part of it. But together that word means gold dealer or goldsmith. A dealer in gold or a maker of gold, basically. Islam. Yes, sir. We got a few more over here for you. So don't run off yet.
I thought I got away. Okay,
Islam.
now that dot under that H, does that make it a K? That don't make it a K, do it?
No, sir.
Okay, so
It's
I'm
got to
saying,
be an arrow. It's got to be that arrow down that's under the H on the next, the last H in the phrase.
okay,
Yes,
right.
sir. That's definitely the K.
okay.
Let me
Okay, I
blow
would
that
say
up.
Shemet, Remet, Ket,
Say it again.
Smet, Remet, Smet, Remet, Ket.
That's right. Shemet Remet Ket.
Remet Ket. Okay, that's
Right. That's right.
one.
Ket. Ket. Yes, sir. You see the R there.
Okay.
You just kind of tie it in together, put that roll in there. You see,
Yeah.
that's why they also say the R is interchangeable with the L. Because most of those demonstrations so close like that, you end up almost pushing an L out anyway. Raket. Raket. You see that L popping up in there? So yeah.
Not really.
You know? Raket. Raket.
Raket,
Raket.
Raket.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, in order to pronounce that there, Raket. Raket.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, I see.
Yeah. That's why
Right.
some people try to put the lion there. They say, well, the lion meant it's
I heard that.
yeah, just a little humor. You know,
Right.
go ahead, brother.
Oh, okay. Ari? Oh, Aryan?
Okay, I hear the one portion of it, but we're looking up on it. Always go under the text. That's the root right there, companion of. That's just the root of the word Ari.
Oh,
What is the
I'm
word
way up
under
there.
in E9, 812? You all right?
Okay.
That's all right though, because you dealt with the root first, the root word. Ari.
Okay. Ari. Ari. Dari.
Aridi.
Aridi.
Yeah, Aridi.
Aridi. Okay.
Yeah, and look at the
That line
D
makes
thing.
that line makes it kind of,
Yeah, drag
oh,
over into the UD.
oh, okay.
Aridi.
Aridi.
I would say
Okay.
Aridi.
Aridi.
Yeah, Aridi.
Aridi.
Yeah, Didi. You know,
Didi.
but I know it ain't easy, but it would,
Oh,
you
there
know,
is two of them, right?
right.
Got
But
maybe
now
one.
what we can agree on is that that word Didi, we know that means what part of the phrase of the definition.
Me? I mean, oh, I ain't even seeing all the rest of literal companion
Yeah.
of fighting. Enemy,
Yeah.
okay, you got
So
enemy, companion
yeah.
of fighting.
Right. So what it's saying basically, companion of is Ari, right? And Didi,
Okay,
it means
okay,
fighting. It's the word that deals with enemy. So if you're talking
okay.
about a companion, we ain't talking about a companion of the enemy. The companion, in the case of dealing with this measure, is dealing with one that is a companion in fighting against the enemy.
That's the thing. I mean, yeah.
Islam?
Islam.
Yes, sir. And the next one, this is going to shed light on one that we covered a few minutes ago, earlier with our brother Bati Bey.
Okay. Okay, yeah, this Metet.
Yes, sir. Medet. Now, you know that's dealing with speech, as we can see, right?
Right.
Now, if that is the case, and it says Medet bint, Medet binet, what would that refer to? If the word Medet means speech, in E10 112 /6, what would that be?
That in each. I mean, I'm saying I see evil there. That
correct?
I guess I'm getting. Well, what else could it? I mean, is it like has nothing to do with plural or anything or feminine or anything?
Well, it's a combination between two words. Matet and the net. Evil speech
Oh, okay,
and good
okay.
speech would therefore be then what? Matet
With that,
nefert.
that's fair. Okay, with that,
You
that's fair.
see?
Okay. Yes,
Matet
sir.
the net is evil speech. Matet nefert is good speech.
Right, right.
You
Okay, I
see?
should have reflected on that at the beginning of the.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna grab it, but you was on point. You said it, but I was waiting for you to carry it out in relation to dealing with matet, the word.
Okay, yeah,
You see?
I should have paid more attention. I should have been more observant. I put it like
No,
that.
it's all right. It's all right. No, you good, grand man. Now, here's a grand one right here where you can redeem the droid. Watch this. It says E12 5/5. That's matet ma'at. What is that saying?
Good speech. I mean, good truth. I mean, that power of truth.
Now I'm gonna tell you too, you also see the word matut instead of matet, even though I'm saying matut. I'm using the E, but you will see it as matut.
Okay.
In other words, we know ma'at means truth and right, or just the truth. So this would be the word of truth.
Oh, the word of truth.
Right.
You kind of slid down too far, so I could see what was up top.
You don't see that?
Yeah, I see that. But I'm saying I thought it was something else up there. Okay.
Oh no, that was the other portion of the one that we had just went over, the nefert and the benet, the good and evil. But right here, you know, everything was there that you needed. It's all right.
Okay.
You just remember this is word, this portion is word, and this is ma'at.
Oh, okay.
So this is the word of
truth.
In other words, the word of truth and right. The word of truth.
Okay.
Islam.
So.
Okay, so let's try it here.
Word of the okay. That per.
That's right.
The word of the Pharaoh.
Yeah, but see, they put it here as affair of the state or the business of the Pharaoh. So we can actually see a connection with this word matut or matet, also dealing with the affair of the business as well. We'll take that in consideration when we begin to write.
Right.
So that's basically how you would see most words being made up in dictionaries. Go ahead, brother.
Right. We can actually.
Matut pera, or matet pera, depending on which vowel you use. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking like that matut. We could basically have 3 different variations as the translation of it. Okay.
That's right. Yes, sir. So, you know, all that come with building up, like I said, a lexicon, organizing these things and putting them in order. And I went over these right here, so it really ain't no need for us. I actually emphasized these earlier. The mir mesu and the mir sin and so forth and so on. I also emphasized this one. Go ahead, brother.
Okay, anybody else gonna say that?
Yeah, we finna get our family here right now. Yeah, I just wanted to get past that phase because I'm trying to do it in portions.
Okay, you know, I could have said something.
We ain't trying to put you on the hot seat, no.
Right. Okay, so you want to go on this one? Okay.
Oh, you want to go? Okay. I was going to go ahead with the bad self. I mean, good self.
Talmud, Tanet.
Go ahead.
Talmud.
That's
Tanet.
right.
Talmud, Tanet, Miss Tami. No, Miss Tamar. Tet. Miss Talmud, Tat. Okay,
I mean, right. Mat. You said it right.
Where we at?
No, I just helping you on the one that you had went over a couple of times. You was right when you said mat.
Oh yeah, you know, because I know it's an A, but then if I
It
just
looked
look
like
at
an
it,
I,
say
but yeah, that's the letter
yeah,
A. Right.
ta net, ta iri, ta ari, ari,
That's
ta
right.
ari.
That's
Okay.
right.
Oh, I gotta keep going, right? Okay, now
Yep.
here we go with the karita.
Kurt.
Karat, huh?
Kurt.
Kurta.
Kurt. That's right.
Kurta remit. Neb cup. Kapir. Niket. Remit. Rock. Rock.
Right.
Ah.
Right.
Net. Rock. Hey.
Rock
This
hard.
rock RD. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
And you
I'm
did a
done.
good job with that. See that? And you running around here talking about you need some help. What? Come on, more you done jumped up in here. Goodness gracious.
Yeah, it does kind of like, you know what I mean? You kind of like forced to go with it when you put them all together. I mean, when you see that A there, you know, if you see whenever you see the A, you know what I mean, you got to put it there.
That's right. And that's good that we ain't it's good that we starting off with the raw text, so to speak. Because once we go to getting the text and we see the vowels and everything off in there, you know, then we'll see it. We basically got the blindfold on, so to speak, right now. Like the prophet, you know how he was took down there in the chambers and he had the blindfold on his eyes.
Oh, yes, sir. I'll
That's what we
imagine
demonstrate right now. Yeah, he say, well, if you ain't able to come through this demonstration right here, then look at those bones over there.
Oh man, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you got to sink or swim right now. So gratitude, Greg, man. You did a good job, Mo.
Gratitude.
Praise be to Allah. Islamism. All right. Next more.
Islam.
Islamism.
Islam. Okay. Sadat.
Sadat.
Sadat. And then
Sadat. Yes, sir.
Sadat. And then in Smimi. Smimi.
Yes, sir. Good.
And then Earth.
That's good. And that's a hard T too, brother. And that hard T is important because it's gonna help you push into that other stuff you getting ready to say. Go ahead, brother.
Ertef.
Unk.
And then Ark.
Unk, as in the key of life. Unk.
Okay. Unk.
Yes, sir.
And then Neb. Just go. And then Ernestini.
I'll show you what it actually says. I'm gonna show you something right here because it actually gives it to you right here. See, Ert is actually the I part of it, and I didn't highlight that on purpose. That just happened by mistake. But that's what this word here is. Ert, right? Ert. This is the I, right? Unk sheshuk. Unk sheshuk. You see? And it's actually transliterated over here. This is the way they transliterated. Unk sheshunki.
Unk sheshunki. Okay.
Right. And if you look over here, Unk, that's the ANKH. I'll just say K, so to speak, ANK, par itself. Unk sheshunki. Sheshunki. Unk sheshunki. You see?
Okay, yeah.
Unk sheshunki's I is stated Art Unk sheshunki. Art Shashanki.
Shashani.
Yeah,
Art Shashani.
Shashanki. Right, Islam.
Then Tef, which is his eye, Tef.
That's
And
right,
Ned,
Tef.
then Ingrar, Ingart, no,
Angar.
Angar. Okay.
Right,
The
Ingar.
H with the bottom, with the dot at the bottom, that's a
And
ha.
that's just a breathing out. I would call it more of a plosive,
Ingar.
a glottal. Well, it's more of a pushing out of the breath of the H, not a hard one like as in K, but a hard H.
Okay, Ingar.
Yes, sir. Ingar.
Ingar.
Yes, sir. Ingar. There you go. At night. And there's your definition too. Remember we was talking about the word neb and how it relates to gold.
Right.
You see?
Gold.
I was showing that to our brother earlier.
All
right. Okay, you want to continue with this E22 4 /6 and 7, brother Mubasa Bay?
Yep. I'm gonna Epui Inti Septa Remna Hapari West Pre Aref.
Yeah, you did pretty good on that too.
Epri Inna Sebet Remna Ha Pri Waspri
Waspir. And we know that word P and R is dealing with house. Pera.
Okay. Pera.
You see,
okay.
We see they mixed it in there with Pera, so we see Pharaoh also there. Go ahead, brother.
Epuri Itnata Sabat Rem Na Ha Pri Iwas Pri Era Ref.
Good. Good. Yes, sir.
Epuri
And we see the translation is a personal servant, a staff bearer, and a man of the household who belonged to Pharaoh were assigned to him. You see, and this is basically referring to somebody of the household of Pharaoh being assigned to somebody. You know, maybe somebody that was their servant, you know, or somebody that was in the midst. They had somebody that was assigned to them that basically was skilled enough to be their guide. I just put it in them words. But yeah, when you go into these things and you look at the word, to be honest with you, we already know the definition of remet, you know, and we can go into how we get into the word servant and all of these things. They begin to jump out at us now that we're using them in full words. You see? So they also give a way that you can pronounce that word that you was having a little time with the West, and they actually goes into a substitution of the NS, presumably reflecting contemporary pronunciation, since the personal name is built on NS appeared in Greek as Esmin, Nismin. You see how they add them together? Yeah, and they give you, that's just, go ahead, brother.
No, I was just pronouncing it in Nesman. Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's, but I heard you saying it though. You know what I mean? Yes, sir. So praise be to Allah.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna let you deal with these, and then we'll move to the next more Islam.
Okay. Number one, Ankh.
Correct.
Metwa. Metwes. Metu.
Yeah, Metu.
Metu. Now that's with the WF.
Yes,
The third
sir. You got
metu.
metut,
Okay.
and metuf.
Metu. And then is it metwa? Metwas?
Metuf.
Metu.
Yes, sir. Metuk with the K at the end, metut with the T at the end, and metuf, you know, with the F at the end.
Metuf.
That's right.
Metuf. Then metwas. And then ein. Metus.
Yes, sir.
Metus. And then it was ein.
An.
Yeah,
like the city, the city on.
Ein. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you'll see anu.
Metutin.
Yes, sir. Metutin.
And then metu.
That's right.
Metu.
Yes, sir. And so those are grand drawings as well, grand man. Good job. Good job. You know, it don't get no better than that. So these things are giving us ideas, you know, and as we going along, notice that we become more familiar because some of these words are being used with the hammer repetition. Islam. So all right, is there any other more that would like to come forth and start at E2327/19? Islam, grand man.
Islam. Okay. Sek in what is that dot? I'm not familiar with what the dot underneath.
That's just like a hard H. You know, like you would normally, if it was a K, it would actually be more, think of it like this. The K is hard like ker, and the H is hard like her. You see? Almost there, but that dot hasn't expanded into an actual arrow going down. You see what I'm saying?
And is there a certain letter pronunciation for the TH, for that TH? Like, you know, you see like in Dharma it's a real D pushing it into the H. So that's a hard T pushing into the.
That's a hard H. You know, it comes, the T would come into it more like ta, pata, pata. You see?
So that would be a seek in nim kerpatha.
Yeah, yes, that's right. That's right. I seek in them her hakda. You see?
Okay.
Yes, sir. And like I said, all it is just looking at these things, and you can even write them out too. That's another thing. You can do this and write these things out so that you actually have the pronunciation as you would like. You know, I even had to do that with the English, to be honest with you, when I was dealing with the Al-Fatiha and learning that stuff. To pronounce it right, I had to pronounce it the way I understand it in the English, you know, in order to really get into, instead of putting, for example, in the word Rahim, you know how they put the R, A-H, and the I and the M, I had to put E-E-M. Rahim had me pronounce it in the English way, had me pronounce it better. You know what I mean? So that's just a bonus.
So that would be limit erek
Remit Ra'ak. Hey.
Emet Ra'ak Pe. Okay.
That's right.
Emet Ra'ak Pe. Okay.
Islam. What kind of man is he to you? Islam. So that's something you would ask, for example, your daughter. You know, what kind of man is he? How does this man treat you? You see?
Yes, I see.
That's right.
Yes, I see.
You know, we just put it in context, you know.
So that Y and that YEK, that's Ankh Payek, Payek,
Ankh Payeksin.
Ankh Payetsin. Ankh
Yeah,
Payetsin.
I am your brother.
Ankh Payetsin. That's a good one too. Payeksin.
Oh yeah. And they actually show you different ways on how to pronounce it as well.
Mm-hmm.
And pushing it out so you can, you know, you can exercise with those things too. Like this here is Shimpe.
Shimpe. It's Shimpe.
It's summer.
Islam. Shimpe.
So yeah, I mean, you see it here, and I actually went over this one. It is the will of God. You know, it is your abomination. So I mean, basically, Moors, and we give honors to your brother Bati Bey. You see, so far that basically from this point on, it's really just exercising what it is that we know or what we was just demonstrating. You see, it's not as hard as it is put out to be. The only difference is we don't communicate in this all the time. So we are creating an environment to be able to communicate. You know, this is special text and language. You know, and this is what's going to make us more familiar with words to be able to compile, you know, again, our particular dictionaries. Islam,
Dr. Shaheed.
Islam, Grand National Secretary of State.
Can you scroll back up a little bit when it had the sentence to right there? No, go down.
Right here.
Okay, right there, E3813/9. Now, when you look at the transliteration and when you look at the actual Demotic script, we're still looking at this Demotic script from right to left, right?
That's right. That's correct.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Islam.
Just want to make sure.
Oh, no, you're all right. You're all right. You know, like we said, it's just really becoming more familiar with what we would call, well, it's really going into the aspects of what we would connect as far as dealing with the letters. And the more we become familiar with them, the better we will begin to pick up these things, you know, as we go through the text itself. You know, so we give honors to you, sis, for that drawing and gratitude. Praise be to Allah, you know, for everything it is that our Moors are bringing forth, because I think the Moors are doing good. And we can only get better at this. Islam. Okay, so let me see here. Yeah, there's a couple of them in here. That's why I'm glad we got that whole dictionary. So what we want to do at this particular time, because I want to show you the other resources we have now that we have went through a few of these things, and we'll be able to go in here and look at them. And you know, that's just showing you a whole bunch of different words. Same thing that we were going over. They got rules here and there that explain and help you with your pronunciation and so forth and so on. Demotic, you know, in all cases that I've known, it is always written, you know, again, just as the other languages from right. I meant from, well, you know, they put it out, we read it from right to left. You know, like when they get into all that other stuff and the hieroglyphics and they go to trying to say, oh, well, We read this from left to right, up and down, top to bottom. That's some other stuff they came up with. You know, hieratic and all of that right there, they always most definitely read from the same direction. Unless somebody decided, let me get creative, I'm gonna write this backwards. You know, also, so keep that in mind. That could be a possibility. Who knows? You know, because we use the reasoning on what we've seen recently. And definitely, I do know in these exercises, they were also showing the difference between transliterating words and also dealing with the translation, showing us to write certain things like if you took the language and wrote out a particular word that you was familiar with. So these are all exercises that we would do when we do our own research and so forth and so on. But what I want to show our Moorish kin is this. There is more hope out here because there's a lot more when it comes to resources. And I like this particular area here known as the Mosea Egizio, and this deal with a lot of collection of papyri. But notice, if you pay attention, when they talk about the languages, just like we trace ourselves back and we say, well, everything came from, you know, alphabet, and then these symbols was invented later. This particular research team with all the papyri and information here, they basically demonstrated the way we demonstrated, Moors. Now notice we started with the Arabic, we went to the Coptic. Now they put the term Greek here, right? We know Coptic is really Greek, you know. This ain't no such thing as Greek in our eyes. But Demotic, you see, so in all actuality, we went from Arabic, Coptic to Demotic, where we are now. And up here in the old Middle Late Egyptian, traditional Egyptian, all this is really dealing hieratic. Now look at the time periods that they give. We don't get caught up in the Gregorian calendar because we have our own Moorish calendar, you know, and that's a whole nother lesson in and of itself. Notice the Ptolemaic period started exactly what we say it started. After that, the Romans came, Byzantine, and the Islamic measures come into play at this area here, right? But yet above that, when you deal with what is called the late period, this is before Ptolemy. So that lie when they try to say that, you know, Demotic was invented by the Ptolemies, that right there is automatically debunked because this is part of the late Egyptian period here. But we have records that go back even further than this 664 date, you know, so we don't really get caught up in, again, the time. So notice what they did do to here, and I give them props on that, even though they, again, use the term Coptic, you know, and they actually put it in the right order right here, to be honest with you. Because remember the other side, they said Greek and then Coptic. This says hieratic, Demotic, Coptic. And we know Greek is really that, but this is where they broke off from the Coptic. So don't even pay attention to that. Then it goes to the Arabic. So it really hieratic, Demotic, Coptic, and Arabic. You see? This is the order that we've been going in. And then notice they saying after the Arabic come what they call abnormal, hieratic, cursive hieroglyphs, which tells us that if the hieroglyphs come after the Arabic, the abnormal, hieratic, cursive hieroglyphs, that is telling us that they had to come during the time of the Ptolemaic period on up into after even the Islamic period. You see, that's a whole nother measure because the time of Ptolemy came with a whole change in this so-called Greekdom, I guess, that they want to come up with. So this particular site, though, I wanted to point out some things in it as use for tools. For example, they say they got like 240, I want to say 50 actual hieratic texts. It's more hieratic text than it is so-called cursive hieroglyphic text. So that shows you that hieratic was a dominant form of writing. We're going to end up going into our hieratic stuff in our next phases. I just want to show you the resources that they have, and I'm going to show you why the European can't never say that they done tried to decipher something. Because see, they'll take a whole text like this and fill this in with something that they don't know what they got going on. and then they'll call that a papyrus. But this is what the original papyrus looked like, Moors. You see this, right? These are portions and fragments, and this is not hieroglyphics. That's hieratic. You see? And they do, and I respect this particular site because they have a lot of this going on here. Look at this. You don't see no symbols and pictures in here. It's straight script right here, Moors. The real script. And now, mind you, I do have whole books with hieratic where it compare the script to when they try to put the little symbols on the side of it. And we actually show. So this is the Torin king list here. Now you have Torin judicial papyri. When you go in here, right? When this is just prepping you for the next portion. Now there is some other things that I will show you here. I'm just showing you this here so that you'll know. Look at this. Look how long that is. This is not hieroglyphics in the form that people call it, but yet it is called metaneta in its proper context. You know, the words, you see? Look at that. You see how long that papyrus is right there, Moorish King? Look at that. Let me take it down a little bit. You don't see no signs and symbols in there nowhere, do you?
Looks beautiful to me.
Yeah, it is beautiful. That's one they got, one of the rare ones where they got the whole thing together, but you don't see no animals and all that type of stuff going on in this older papyrus. All that pictorial writing, when they try to say that, you know, writing evolved out of that, they really talking about Proto-Sinaitic, Proto-Canaanite. And they trying to adapt that in the Egyptian language, and that's where you get all this other stuff at. Notice it's all dealing with purely alphabet here. This is called what they call the satiric erotic papyrus. You know, and they tell you the time in the dynasty. These are old documents, family. So when they say old kingdom writing, new kingdom, and all that, like again, I say this is alphabet. This didn't have nothing to do with symbols. So I give honors to the work that they have done here because they telling you the truth. They letting you know that the alphabet came before the symbols. That's why another key tell on this, family, there is no hieroglyphics in the Great Pyramid of Giza, and there are none in either one of those beside it. Menkaure or the Khufu pyramid. They don't have hieroglyphics in them. The pyramids that have inscriptions written in the pictorial form was the pyramid of Unas. And that's what they call the pyramid text. And they are not as old as the Great Pyramid. So again, we are showing that the pictorial writing then comes later. See, these are just things that we can use, you know, to state our claim. So this is just more papyri here from another particular section. And I'm just showing you resources now to where you can go into and make reference to and possibly do more research on, because I actually got one with more books. See it again here? See, that's it right there. There you go right there. Yeah, so let me see here. Okay, we got another one here.
Islam?
Okay, Islam. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I just got a quick question. So you're saying the actual hieroglyph that we see all the time like that, that wasn't part of the, say, language?
The old kingdom. That's what I've been saying the whole while.
Okay.
But what they did do is that they took this papyri here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they put symbols beside, like they would take a papyri like this and put symbols beside these things and try to basically see which alphabets in here could look more correspond with the symbol. And then they use that as a marker in their own concept of trying to transliterate something. That's what E. Wallace Budge them did. But it wasn't them that translated this stuff in the first place. It was Coptic Christians. that still had access to the Egyptian language. You see what I'm saying? So they translated this stuff, you know, from the Hieratic, the Demotic, and the Coptic, and then they gave it to E. Wallace Budge now. And then E. Wallace Budge them basically took what they had and made up their own little dictionaries and stuff with it. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So they didn't transliterate nothing.
So they way off.
That's what I'm telling you. And that's why he
Way
told
off.
you though. He admitted, he said that he wasn't doing nothing but guessing. You know, he said that throughout the whole preface that he wrote. Now, when you come into the new era in the text, you start seeing what they like to call cursive hieroglyphs with this type of stuff in it. You see what I'm saying? And this is where you go to seeing this stuff popping up. You see? Look here. I think, yeah, that's the way I open it up right now. And so this is where, you know, you go to seeing this style of writing come up here, you know, with little pictorial expressions in it. But that's not how it started. You got me?
Yes, sir.
This came later, is what I'm saying. And that's why if you look at some of this, like what they call in cursive, this would be more like stickman writing. But as they became more proficient in writing, the symbols began to look like full people and persons. You see what I'm saying? But that was after a time of mastering that form of drawing these little symbols that they begin to draw up. So what it is that most of the time, we got to also remember there were different people ruling. Look at our flag right now. You see it?
Yep.
The Kafesh, the star above it, scimitar star. You know what I mean? Right. And so we know, for example, there is no hieroglyphic, bro, that says this. There is no hieroglyphic for the word star. You see? There is no hieroglyphic for the word. When I say hieroglyphic, I'm talking about in the form of what they call alphabet. You see, there is no alphabet for this symbol here. There's no alphabet for this symbol. That's how we know that these are not meant to be read alphabetically. If you go through the same setup, E. Wallace Budge, all of them that done put alphabet together, look at the Egyptian alphabet. You ain't gonna find no scimitar or the Kafesh there, you ain't gonna find no star in it. Nor are you gonna find this here. These are all what they would mostly refer to as determinatives. And if this whole thing is consistent mostly of determinatives and not alphabets, then this means that you should read them as such, determinatives. They are themes and not words in the aspect of dealing with letters and alphabets. You feel me? So like this, you don't see this. This is not an alphabet here. You see, all of these are just symbols. They are not in the, even in the alphabet that they came up with. None of these things here are part and parcel. They're all determined, and they are meant to be understood metaphysically. Once you understand what the determinative is, you can say, okay, I metaphysically understand this is the Kafesh here. You know, we know that the Kafesh represent the constellation of the Great Bear. You see, being depicted here. And go into the science of what the constellation of the Great Bear represents. You know, it represents the cycle. It deals with time, the beginning of time. You see? And then if you connect this with your knowledge of knowing what the next determinative is, you can further interpret these things. That's why they say this was only a priestly script meant to be understood by the priest. It was never taught to the layman as a language. So let me go on to this other drawing here. And they have another one here that they call the Book of the Dead here. And you see this is wrote actually, hold up, let me open it up. It's there, Moors. The reason it's so small is because it's so long. You know, and they did this the same way. Now look at this script. This is a more, here we go. This is more similar to the modern expression that you see the script in. See how you seen it in the cursive form? And this is the same thing, symbols. These are not, these symbols here are not in the alphabet of ancient Kemet. They are not. You see? Neither one of these are in representation of that. So you can't read it as they try to teach it. You know, that's their breakdown. I call it Egyptolemaicist. You know, but we'll get into that at another time. It's going to come a time after we get done with all of this and we get past the Heretic, we're going to go into the metaphysics and the symbolic breakdown and the getting into the formulas of what these things really mean. You know, but that goes further into an adept understanding. It ain't got nothing to do with the way that they teach it, though. And I'm going to show you that it was being taught before they was on the manifest. Here's an old Demotic document here as well. It's pretty much together and whole and intact, you know. So there are writings out there that exist, you see. That's coming from what they call Totis. Thenis is also another area here. And they even talk about the restoration of papyrus in here. So I'm just showing you different resources. And this is one of them that I found that can be used, you know, in making us become more familiar with what it is that we have in front of us. This is also a good resource, the Ancient Digital World, the World Digital Library, because this actually has a text in here. I actually downloaded it because it's easy to get to this. This is actually breaking down a whole Demotic text right here. But they got many of them here. This is breaking down a whole Demotic text. You know, so these things will help us become even more familiar with the Demotic. See, they had original text here and they tell you what year they come, the plates they come from par itself, and all the text, and then they go into the transliterations of them. And through you'll see this throughout the book. So this is your Demotic here. And we can probably see some words based on how we were demonstrating earlier that jump out to us. You know, if we look closer, we can see Tehuti name right here.
Well,
I know
Jeff,
we recognize that. Huh?
yeah, I was looking up top and seeing that MWTF.
Yep. There it is right there. That's right. That deal with mother. We already know because the dot comes before the T. Mutef. Matter of fact, that was one of the words. But yeah, you see Renefer Sim Dejuti and Efna. You know, so I mean, these are all good resources. But like I said, I downloaded that book off of this website. And they got a plenty of them on here more. So many, it's just exhausted. It's so much they got here, it's exhausted. So this is a companion to Demotic studies, you know, so I encourage the Moors to look up these things. You know, go into them, hit the browse button. And if you browse, look at all of this information here. You know, these are different resources. And you just click on whatever it is. It's right here in a whole nother language right here. So if they don't have you may be able to go and get the text over there though, and probably pull it up and then translate it. A lot of time too, if you see German books that are online dealing with this, all you got to do is go to Google Translate and you can translate the word into English in Google Translate. Or you can just take portions out of the text and do that. Let me see, I might be able to demonstrate something here, depending if they let me grab something. That won't let you grab it there. Let me see if you do the PDF, will it let you grab? It's always a way to get around the shenanigans. I downloaded that. I'm just doing this to see if it's possible. That's in a total different language right there. I'm gonna see if I can copy this script here. And I'm gonna open up a Google Translate page. I'm gonna show you. They can't hide nothing from you if you really want to get it more. Google Translate, and I would assume this is German. Yep, that's German. Look at that. See how I translated that right there, just that quick. So this over here, which would have been gibberish.
Wow, that's good.
On the
That's
other
a good tool. Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
I don't know what they're talking about over here. What?
Wiser.
Who, you know, so it says this little portion, which I don't know what it was. I just pulled anything out. At times as a wise king over Egypt ruled, but then through his evil brother Set was deceitfully lured. It's talking about Osiris. This is the story of Osiris. Yeah, lured into the coffin and killed, but his son Horus avenged his father's murder. That's the Osirian metaphor in which we have in my website, MATHENO'S archive. We got the breakdown on this here. It says his avenge his father's murders and awakens him to new artificial life through magic, the formulas and the rites of the spell. Oh, so that's an interesting book. What book that is? I just got it from again. Okay, this is this was written in 1855 by Edward Mayer, which we know this is somebody that was actually German. You know, because remember I told you they were going back and forth. So that's all you do, more. You can't do it here. You just have to download the document like you see me do. And then you just highlight it, take the word, copy it, paste it, go to Google Translate if you want to read these things and see what they're saying. And sometimes it's good to see that because what we can't see, dealing with them blindfolders again, sometimes that's where the truth is hidden at. Like if you go back in certain books, like I do a lot of research in what we call Google Books. If you go Google Books, they give you books from the 1500s. The further you go back, you'll actually find Latin. If you can find the PDF to the Latin, it'll let you highlight it and you can put that Latin script in there and transliterate it, rather translate it par itself, and you can understand what's being said. That's somebody that want to really do that type of research. I don't mind doing it. I'll do it. I ain't scared.
That sounds good, really. Really sounds very good.
But this is what it would look like if we didn't transliterate it again. You know, good luck with that. So, all right, that's another resource. This is another one here too. This is a good resource to use as well. And you'll have all these resources because we're gonna put the video out. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. I noticed in that document, Osiris, even though it was in German, Osiris was in there. So
yeah,
Osiris
they kept the Greek term as they like to call
it.
They so call it Greek, but we know Hecopter is the real measure. You know, Wazir, Osir, Osar. Yeah, all that good stuff there. Yeah, and this is one too that allow you to go and do research in as well. I actually wanted to go to the actual drawing that I had in here because you can click on it and this got different ostraca. This is called ostraca. Anytime you see Demotic written on stone, you know, most Demotic is, you would find it in ostraca as well. You know, then you can go into the digital archives and you go into the digital archives and look at all this stuff, man. It's going to bring you into contact with everything you need. This is University of Chicago as well, which is where we are able to get a lot of things from. See this right here, you just clicking on this, you can go through many different areas. So we can use this as well as a tool. You know, just say you wanted to deal with Demotic and just type Demotic in here and let's see what come up here. Well, they didn't put it there in that one. Now I'm trying to, let me see here. And they got the archaeological field work. I actually got a portion in here where I was dealing with the, hold up real quick. Okay. Let's see here. And basically, you can go through all these records, family, and look for, let me see if it let me do it here. I was just in here early. Okay, there we go, right here. So you type it in, and then it just bring up everything in here that you want to deal with. I'm gonna just tap on this one right here. Okay, and it give multiple results. It tell you everything about whatever it is you're looking for. And like I said, these are different things, and they'll pull up a lot of times. If they got it there, they're gonna pull it up in the visual form. where you can see certain text and papyri and all of that. So that's another tool. Let's see, I think this was one that I was going over earlier, but this is actually lesson 1 here.
That papyri on, you say on the stone, it's called oshki?
Ostraca. Yeah, they call it, yeah, ostraca.
Ostraca.
Yes, sir, they call it ostraca. Yes, sir. And so, yeah, see, this is what I was looking for, like your digital archives. And see, they have a lot of different stuff that's actually written. Like, for example, it's showing a Demotic marriage document right here. And see, that's what I was saying. You can pull this stuff up. I like the clarity in that too. You see what I'm saying? So these are actual sources. You know, they can't be denied. They got numbers on them and everything that leads you back to all of this information that we pulling out here. So it don't get no better than this, Morris Ken. And they have many different resources. Like I said, this one right here is another resource. I can't forget this one at all. This is very important that you get this one. This is the Demotic Paleographical Database Project. Now they have a lot of information here. Like you pull up the corpus, for example, right? And they start at 664-405 BC, right? You can actually move through these things, but watch this. When you click here, oh, look at that. And you got transliteration. So you need some translation up here. And this is showing you that German is there. And it'll actually change it because it be in other languages or whatever. See, and this is actually breaking down certain roots of the words and going into certain writings of the Demotic, certain breakdowns of them here. You know, and this is very useful here, family. So we encourage our Moorish kin. Down here at the bottom, you can actually find other resources, which this is the one that you're going to click on to get all of the Demotic records that we were trying to give you on the alphabets. This is all of them right here. See, this is starting with the letter A. Let's just click on this particular one. I told you the first letter A dealt with 100 different definitions, not definition, but 100 pages. And this is taking a little minute because it's a lot of information up in here dealing with this next alphabet. Only thing we want to do is get them and maybe download them like I downloaded the whole letter A and then just put them in an abjad order. You know, that way we can, you know, close as we can to it. We can do that. Just let this load up real quick. Go ahead, brother, while it's loading up. What you were finna say, brother Marvin?
No, I went past it.
But you see all these resources that we have here, right?
Oh yeah, that's very, very intriguing.
Yeah, they will all be used, especially that last one that I was showing you. Where you can go through all the books.
The Demotic Paleographic Database Project.
Well, the Ancient World Dictionary, where it has when you hit browse.
Oh yeah. The Ancient World
pull up
Digital
all
Library.
These different books.
Yes,
we got Arabic right here. Ibn Abu Sa'id al-Hayr, which was most likely a Moor that did that.
Right.
You know, they got ancient Greek literary, what they call it, you know, I mean, admonition of Egyptian sage from a hieratic papyri, you know, the Age of Solomon. You see all of these books that they had, whole books. Look down here at the bottom. Goodness.
Oh, they got.
You see how many texts that is? So anything you pretty much want, you're going to be able to come up in here and do some research on.
So finally.
You see?
Yes, sir. We got that connect.
These are classic books right here, written from the 1900s, and you know what I mean? So this is just stuff that you would like to do. We ain't sending nobody out saying you got to do it, but if you like to study and you got the time in you, and it's something you're interested in, look through here and do the work. Because you know, anything we bring back to correct that what has been done,
Right.
You know, then we
right.
doing a good service to our people. Islam.
Gratitude.
Yes, sir. Gratitude. Hold up, let me go back and see. Okay, I think that thing, did it load up yet? Yeah, there it go. It finished. Let's see. Woo! 250 pages. Goodness gracious. And so you see how much that we really have now when it comes to this demotic. And this is just one letter now. So we all know this is a lifetime journey. But nevertheless, we're going to get this demotic dictionary. If we don't do nothing else, we're going to get this dictionary, you know, on these linguistics on point. Yes, sir. So I'm just showing our family what that is. And again, you will find that when you go into your resources, right over here at the bottom. You got a bunch of them you can click on and go in. But you know, that's going to be on you. But I'm telling you that the alphabets, like the letter A I gave you, you're going to find them here in the Demotic Dictionary Oriental Institute and the University of Chicago. Like I say, this is a good document here. This in itself is very extensive. When you come here, when you go back to the documents and you click on each one of these, they're going to open up a whole nother measure here with other demotic writings in them. This right here is in another language. Don't get crazy in thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? Because we can always take it and either take it to Google Books. In most cases, your Google Translator come up there and you just translate it like that. And also they have it over here where you can click on the side and this take you to that dictionary. That this is the same thing that brother was trying to use to tear down the word M and R. Come to find out, we exposed that M and R still meant what it said. We did a video on that. So when you hit the number, it's going to bring you to these words over here in the Egyptian thesaurus lingua Egypti. You know, but my main thing is dealing mainly with the demotic, but nothing wrong with finding equivalents all over the place. So we have a real grand database here, Moors, and we just encourage our family, you know, to look for them. You got full text searches you can do, you know, and you can just put keywords in. If you wanted to put a keyword in, they break them down by word, see? Just click on that word right there, and where will it take us? Well, actually, you got to see it here because it actually brings everything up as you. And it actually, I didn't even show you this part either. It actually shows you the location where the words are used most frequently. You can look at and find these things as well on here. So, yeah.
That picture of denial is becoming like second nature almost now.
Oh yeah. You know, and that's the thing too. You know, this would be lower Kemet. You know, and upper Kemet is, you know, further down, so to speak. This is upper Kemet, this is lower Kemet. In fact, if you look at a Kubalan map, the Kubalan map is upside down. Really, it's right side up. You see what I'm saying? That's the map that the Moors created. And that would be more corresponding with the Kemetic map. So automatically, if you had a Kubalan map, you automatically know this was upper Kemet and this is lower Kemet. Even though it's called north and south when you look at the European map. So basically, they literally turned our world upside down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Goodness gracious. So that's all I have to say at this particular point, Moors. And this has been a grand drawing to have our Moors kin participate openly, and you have most definitely progressed. And our next session, we'll start trying to go into the hieratic area. And some of the lessons out of here will be useful because we actually have script that compares the hieratic and the demotic script beside each other. So, you know, we already kind of seasoned with it here and there. But Moors, we have done a great job in going into this language in such a small amount of time. Now having all the resources here, and now it will be a time, like I say, where we will begin to go into the actual language, you know, and try to pull our dictionary, try to start building. It ain't gonna be hard at all. A lot of it really is key dealing with etymology. Etymology gonna save us a lot of time if we just trace things to their root. So at this particular time, what we want to do, we want to call for Act 1. Our Grand National Chairman, Dr. Akin Acting Pert M. Root to come and bay, if he's on the manifest. Islam?
He's not available right now, Dr. Shaheed.
But gratitude, yes, he is. He right there with you. You are Act 1. Nah, we just going into it. Come on forth,
You know, look, I'm a student. I keep saying I'm a student. Islam, Islam, Islam.
We love you, sis. You're a master teacher.
Islam Warriors can, having already risen, giving praise and honor where due, we want to give praises to Allah, honor to our prophet, giving honor to our Georgia consulate for providing the forum, to our National Assistant Grand Chairman for opening our meeting according to law, to our Moorish kin, Act 1, and also to you, Dr. Shaheed, for making it plain. I tell you, every time we come to these classes, it's like more and more veils are being removed. You can see the elevation, even though there are times when, in doing the research, you know, law itself may want to try to creep in, but no, all of this is ours, and we are starting to peel back the layers so much so that it's starting to become more natural. Like when we were writing down the words as far as the A letter last week, and now we're able to just look at the transliteration and be able to say it, you know, where the brain is starting to bring it forth from a natural aspect, and that's a grand blessing. I want to give you much honor for bringing forth these additional research items. And the one thing that I always felt is that when a book was Latin or written in Germany and things of that nature, that's another way that they would hide it from us, knowing that we were just bound down to this so-called English language. But having the resources and being able to just cut and paste and translate, that's a grand demonstration, you know. So much gratitude is due you more, and just being able to look at the original papyri, seeing the script, you know, which was written out, not seeing any hieroglyphs, you know, as what Rome had stated. This was the first demonstration that our people brought forth. So all of these things are breaking the falsehood that also was the basis for our mental slavery, you know, and the prophet just made it so plain. So this is just a grand demonstration. It's a grand lesson. I'm very excited and charged up because, again, we're opening up so many worlds and avenues, and we are definitely at the forefront. We are making history, you know, and it's just a grand blessing and an honor that you can do it in a forum that's relaxed, comfortable. We know that we're all of one family, and that this is another aspect to help our people break through that brick wall that has been for so many years trying to be buried. But we know you can't bury the truth, you know. So just much gratitude to you more for these grand teachings and lessons, also for the additional resources. I know last week I was brushing up on the Arabic, you know, being able to recite it and in the air, write the letter in reference to the dots, the whole thing while I'm reciting it, to try to also make that a part, because I don't want to let dust set in on the Arabic aspect, because that was a little, I was really reaching up for that. But I don't want to let the dust set in on that, so that when we start compiling from the different languages, that also is going to be fresh, along with the rest of the things that we're going through. So just much gratitude. It's very in-depth, but at least we've got the foundation, which is Allah and the Prophet. you know, that there's nothing that we can't do. So gratitude more. I'm just charged up, excited, and ready to go. Praise Allah. Gratitude.
Islam and gratitude, Grand National Secretary of State, and you doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, because all of our family, what we've done thus far, like you say, don't put the book up on the shelf and let it sit there, because all this going to be necessary when we start building. Now you'll be scrambling going back, well, what was the rules of this? I knew it, but I forget. Like you said, you want to keep it, and that's why we gave the Quran.com too. That's a very good tool to keep it fresh. And because we're gonna be adept with it. And now people come to learn from us, they're gonna be able to get it. You know what I mean? We're gonna even when we get into going into the symbols, that's gonna open the door for the Proto-Sinaitic, Proto-Canaanite, which also give us the ability to teach our people that deal with what they call the Hebrew as well. So we ain't leaving no stone unturned. You know, when they come up in here, they're gonna say, ooh, we, because ain't nobody else teaching these things, you know, to this extent. Even those who are dealing with the various schools of thought, you know, that may be dealing with Islam, for example, al-Islam, you know, it's not a common thing for them to be teaching, you know, the Arabic. That's something you got to learn on your own. You know, they don't voluntarily get at to you. You know, and so in most cases, they feel like they have more trouble when people know that type of stuff. You know what I mean? And so if one chooses to go into it and learn it, then they learn and become a master of it, and they can become more insightful of what's being said there. You don't be left at the mercy of the translator, so to speak. And that's what all of this is doing. And this sounds like foreign language when I keep telling our family, we need to translate our own, and it's really not hard. You really don't even have to transliterate the whole text. It's just certain wording in there that has to be tweaked a bit. You see, that's what we are more concerned with. The things that man interjected in there according to his own knowledge, but has become a hindrance to the people. That's what we are looking to correct. You know, some of the other stuff, as normal people that translate, you don't see them far off from each other. You'll see different expressions of words. And that's all translation really is. You know, accepting what is, okay, well, we can agree on this right here, but this right here, no, we're going to have to, you know, give a high interpretation. And so we're going to get to all of that sooner than later, Islam. And so we definitely encourage our family with all of the Demotic letters. Now that we showed you where they are, you can go there and actually deal with these letters, just like we've been dealing with them, but we become more familiar because we have each letter in just, if you will, like, I still have to even continue in mind, download them and put them in abjad order, you know, so they'll be a little more comprehensive, because we know what abjad order is. If we can do that and put everything together there, then all is well, Islam. And again, many of those that have missed these classes, they will probably be a little lost in the sauce to a certain degree, but we'll be here for them to fall back on. But we just ain't got to tarry too long, you know, because if ones really wanted these things, you know, instead of taking portions of selected research, ones would be here to learn them, just like the Moors are now. And so you Moors will most definitely, you know, receive rewards and high accolades for this right here. Just like you go through, you know, different institutions, you know, one's going to be rewarded for coming through these things, you know, with the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding and things of recognition. So that's coming too. So praise be to Allah and Islamism without the schism. And this has been a grand session, Moors, and I love what this session has grown into, because you can see the university already being established now. By the time we really get this thing brick and mortar, we're going to have our own books to teach them from, Islam. So at this time, let us call forth, let's see, is our National Grand Sheik on here? I know. Yeah, there you go, right there. Islam. Dr. Yes, sir. Amin Rael.
Islam,
yes, sir. What's going on, Grand Man?
I've been sitting here sucking up this knowledge, this gold mine, and you were just giving us a drawing about the in-depth necessity of it, and we concur, just like prior to them. But let me give a lot of praise. Highest honor to his love thought, and highest honor to everything that his love thought brought, and everyone that the love thought taught. We give honor to Prophet Noble Ali for setting us free. This is a grand illustration, because like the language that we was using at the time of our demise, at the time that we failed, is the language that they're hiding from. And it's this language right here. If we are able, no, I'm not going to say if, when we secure these hidden keys that open up a door, what I'm seeing, to a vast universe that is at our disposal. The Moorish children of light will be able to not only engulf the world with their light again, because we had to stay the world at one other time. Now we have to do it this time, and the prophet said we got to do it this time under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Being able to spread those principles, but it can be codified not only in the English language, but the Arabic transcript or the Kemetian more precisely, the Kemetian transcript. Whatever it transcript that we utilized with getting back that which was taken, getting back that which was hidden from us. And I think this is the greatest task that's available. The fact that one took it, hid it, and said that we can't have it no more. But Allah is the most wonderful one. He sends one into this abyss that had been created and bring one back to their natural and normal senses of understanding what language is and the power of the word, especially knowing how to break the power of the word down. So yes, sir. Thank you, man. And we're gonna get on top of it, Mo. Praise Allah.
And praise be to Allah, Sheikh, you are already on top of it. Islamism without the schism. Saraf is Amin Rael, and we definitely right there with you, grand man. So this is a grand feat. And when we start bringing these measures through on the 7 Seal publication, which we will, in a very short period, it's going to be a grand draw. It's going to be a powerful draw. So we just want to say gratitude, for everything it is that we have on the manifest. Praise be to Allah. Well, all right. Well, let us call forth at this particular time our beloved, because I don't see a sister all set Amun L on the manifest. Assistant Grand National Secretary. Yeah, I don't see her up here. So what we'll do, we'll call on our beloved brother Rasul Bey. Kepri, I knew Rasul Bey Islam. Brother Simpson Bey, are you there? Well, we know the brother is most definitely about our Father's business. Islamism, he moving through the terrain. So perhaps he may tune in before we get up out of here. But Islam, I see our sister Kurtabe came for, so we might as well let her on in here. We seen you, don't be trying to duck in and out of there, peeking in this door.
Yeah, I'm trying to run that.
She peeked it up. We know you got it, sis. It's love.
It's love, it's love, it's love. Diane, Dr. Dendra Nia today. First, let me rise and give praises to the great God Allah. I give honors to our holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to Ad One. I give honors to all my government officials, and I give honors to you as always, National Assistant Grand Chief, for this wonderful, wonderful class. As always, I learned a lot. And I was just getting ready to tell you too, when you was calling on the National Assistant Grand Chief, he has put up something in the chat that's saying that he was traversing through the terrain. So, but anyway, yes, and I was following along with you. I know every time when they asked me for somebody to come forward, I was getting ready to say something, and then I said, no, let me wait a little bit longer. And then I think me and Mustafa Bay, we come in at the same time, and you didn't hear me, so I said, I'm gonna let him go ahead. But I was following along, and I was able to, I was pronouncing them along with my Moorish kin as they was pronouncing the words, but as you got further on down, it got a little challenging for me, and I'm looking forward to getting the playback or the recording, you know, because the more I hear it, the better I come, you know, just hearing it just first time right off, it was challenging. But like I say, when you first started out, I was saying them along with my Moorish kin, but as we went on down further into the lessons, it got a little bit of challenging, but I still could pick up. See where we was going. I remember the plural and the W meaning the plural and singular, and the W meaning the S and all that. And like I said, some of them I didn't quite pronounce them like y'all was saying them, but I was putting my little vowels in the right place. And this was just a grand joy for me. And like I say, looking forward to getting the playback so I can go back. And then the new information that you've given us, wow, I'm like, okay, you Google search, the Google, what was it, Google Translate or whatever it was, you translate the scripts. I didn't even know that was possible. And with all the information that we got, and plus my Moorish kin what's here, I'm pretty sure I feel confident. I'm excited about getting these teachings, getting these learnings. And even when you were showing the strip, the little different well, one script you put up there, and then the papyrus, what you had, they was broken up, and when you blowed it up, I could still recognize some alphabets on them. I said, oh man, I know what that is. And then on one of the long ones, you said it was long, when you blew it up, I could recognize some of the alphabets on there. So I said, oh, okay. But like I said, I didn't say a whole lot tonight, but hey, this morning, but I'm right here listening. I'm with you, and I'm just enjoying all of this. And it's just a blessing for me. And also the learning this and learning how to minister to my Moorish kin. I'm thinking back when you in the consortium meeting yesterday in last night's class. I tell you, you can't tell me great God Allah got me back in school. I'm in college, because I tell you, I got this is exciting to me. I'm not discouraged. And I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You teaching me how to minister to my people, because people gonna have questions like the goddess was questioning you up about our prophet and the different prophets and stuff. We gonna run into that, and to have you teaching, and whether you call it debate, whatever you call it, I'm able to sit there and answer with you. And then where I'm weak at, I watch what you say, and then I say, okay, this is okay. So I'm learning. This is what I've been waiting for. I prayed for this when I was in Christianity. So you know, I'm like a child with toys, brand new toys. I'm at home, and I'm enjoying myself. And like I say, it ain't it ain't bothering me. I love every bit of it. Yeah, it might be a challenge sometime, but hey, I can do all things. Hey, I'm a God, and it's in me anyway. So I just want our people to have fun. Like, I mean, I'm having fun, but not no disrespect, but I'm just enjoying myself. I don't know who I'm just enjoying myself, learning and getting this information. This is what I long to do. And gratitude for you for taking the patience, because like I say, sometimes I'll be a little slow, but the gratitude for you for having patience with us. And like you say, the ones who are here, we understand it, and we'll be able to help the ones who was sparingly, because you have to stick with this. You have to stay with it. This is, I mean, you got to study. I mean, you just can't just, as the National Grand Secretary of State say, you can't sparingly do this. It ain't gonna work. You'll be lost. So gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. And like I say, I'm enjoying. I got a lot out of it, but definitely looking forward to that recording. And I thank the assistant grand chairman too. He sent me a text. When you get ready to close out, I guess he want me to do the warning and covenant too. Gratitude, God, man, for letting me share. Islam.
Islam, family. Dr. Shahid.
Yes, sir. Islam, brother.
Islam. Yes, indeed. Well, I have a quick moment before I get with this new customer. However, get myself together. Grand class, I was there every step of the way. Definitely look forward to the homework. Definitely look forward to doing more study, because, like I said, it's not strange that we are embarking upon this on the demotic, and like you said, we're going to get into other measures as well, what the heretic or meritic, and just a grand class. As like I said, as I was versing through Moorish America, was able to keep up with the Moors as they were demonstrating, reciting the words. Everybody sound well, sound confident, and I wanted to jump in there as well. But like I said, Morris Ken, I gotta get some things done here so I can get back to the consulate and the God Allah territory. But honors and blessings to all of you, to all Morris Ken online. Honor and blessings to those that want to be here and couldn't be here. And we give honor to you, Dr. Shadowman, for a grand measure and your dedication as well. We give honor to Act 1, our Moorish American government. And we give all praises to Allah, Islam. And as Dr. Deidre Kirk Bay was speaking, she will be closing out for me. Islam. We see you at Sunday school.
And Islam, gratitude, grand man, for that drawing. Gratitude for the measure. Islam, be safe. So yeah, that's a powerful measure in and of itself. Yeah, we got a lot of work to be done. And Sister Curta Bay, we give her honors to you for all that you do. And yeah, we definitely try to make it most fulfilling when we demonstrate these things. And it's going to get greater as we continue to move on. And in the light of that, I just wanted to point out too, going back to the Papyrus Collection website here, notice they say it's 255 hieratic manuscripts that they attest for here on their thing. Then they have the cursive hieroglyphic papyrus, which I showed you that mostly wasn't there. So this lets you know the dominant form of writing has been the hieratic, and then the Demotic, which they say Demotic Greek / document. We know we're dealing with Demotic. In all actuality, Greek came later. But they have 11 that they actually have. But the thing is, we see the hieratic dominates the concept of that hieroglyphics is supposed to be the oldest writing too. So I give honors to this database, is where I just wanted to bring that up too. And well, at this time, we can hear from some of our rulers here that are still here and get their draw, and then we'll take this demonstration to third heaven in a few. Islam? There any other Moors that already spoke that would like to bring forth something that they wasn't able to bring forth already? All
Islam.
right. Okay, Islam, brother Mubasa Bey, what have you to say, grand man?
Islam family. Honest previously given. Giving honors and praises to our Father God Allah and our illustrious Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam. I just want to, you know, express gratitude, you know, to keep on for the consistency, because even myself, you know, I'm have to go back and check out those rules whenever it comes to how you pronunciate, and also the spelling out, you know, and identifying the letters. So, and also I seen too that this is grand, because with this I'm seeing it where one is able to unite the body from you know, all of our family coming from different schools of thought, and how, you know, wherever they're at, being able to reach them and, you know, kind of build with them, you know, inshallah. So, you know, in all of that, you know, I'm thankful for that, because it's dispelling the darkness, and also understanding, you know, this our letters and what it means. This is, I remember I had a like a dream one time, and this was the language that I had seen and that I naturally knew when I first seen it, but I didn't, like, you know, when I came to my waking state, I didn't, you know what, but now that I see, I'm like, oh, that's what that was. So, you know, this is grand, because it's man, this is like a divine awakening of the soul, to bring, you know, that God man back, you know, just to, man, it's grand. So, you know, I just want to you know, express that like that, and you know, gratitude, you know, for the consistency, and even in, you know, my inconsistency. So I'm appreciative for that. Gratitude.
And gratitude, brother. Peace and love for all it is that you do and all it is that you will do. We give praises to the great God Allah for that. And want to give honors to our Moorish kin for the great work that you have done and continuously do, and everything you will do. And it's just an honor, because the world would know the Moorish American language that Prophet Noble Drew Ali brought to us. And we're going to do it through, as the chairman would call it, a commission transliteration, when it's said and done. And so when they ask the question later on, why Noble Drew Ali didn't teach by KEMET? Oh, he did teach by KEMET. The whole Circle 7 is a Kemetic book, if you knew better. What you think the 18 missing years of Jesus or Yehoshua's life is? That was all in KEMET. You know, and even they say, well, the document unto thee I grant, well, that document unto thee I grant that come into the social duties, which the European call it, come from an actual Tibetan manuscript. And that Tibetan manuscript, according to the master that actually have the original scroll in Tibet, tell you that that came from Akhenaten. So if that ain't Kemetic, then I don't know what you're looking for. You see, so that means the chapters that deal with our social duties come straight out of the KEMET from Akhenaten, according to the record. And the 18 missing years was dealing with Yehoshua and his flight from KEMET from the age of 12 all the way up to 33. I mean, what more is there that one need to know? That's KEMET, all up through there. So, they're gonna know by the time we get it. Oh, it's gonna be made bad and plain when we get done. So we just say gratitude, Islamism without the schism. And Sister Kurta Bay, you can actually take us on up to third heaven. Islam.
Islam, Islam, Islam. January 15, 1929, a warning from the prophet to be read at every meeting. I hereby inform all citizens that they must end all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We offer love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And when these principles are violated, justice must then take its course. Any citizen or group of citizens who hold malicious feelings toward the government or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card and button, cease wearing their turban and fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Jew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the government is not right. The prophet, therefore, is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the government. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sinful ways by order of Prophet Noble Jew Ali. A holy covenant of the Asiatic nations. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother have given you suck. Let the bonds of affection therefore unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relations that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thy own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all in your love to each other. Islam, Islam, Islam. This meeting is officially adjourned according to Act 2. Go in peace, Moors. Islam. Great class, great class.
Great class.
Great class.
Gratitude,
Great
Great
class.
class.
Great
Islam,
class.
great class, beautiful message,
Great
beautiful
class.
demonstrations. Love you all.
Islam. Love you,
Yes,
family.
we
Peace and
love you
love.
more.
Love you too.
Love you,
Islam.
Morris.
Peace and
We,
love.
we won't have a grand lesson on the homework on this one here, but really be seeing how well our Moorish can exercise, you know, with some of the tools that we have in this particular session. And so we want to see how well our families circumnavigate, so to speak, with those tools. You know, that's what we'll be looking into in our next session. So gratitude, and then from there we'll go into the Demotic, the heretic. But Islam, we love you, Moors, and we getting ready for Sunday school.
Islam.
Gratitude.
Praise Allah.
Praise
That's
love.
still,
Praise Allah.
Peace and love.
that's still the Moorish perspective.
Islam.
Islam, we love you, Moors.
Love you.
Love you as well.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.